All right. Good morning. My phone sometimes gets glitchy, and it's not an old phone. It's an iPhone 14 Pro, but I think I need to wipe it. Yeah, different story. The reason why I'm coming on this morning is actually there's multiple things that have been bouncing in my head that I want to share, but I think the one thing that I really would like to share with everyone this morning, because I've been getting a lot of questions about rituals, and I'm starting to realize that I've kind of had a basic understanding of rituals ever since I was little. It was like a simple thing I adopted because of Christian cultures, right? Giving thanks and stuff. But it's a lot more simple than I think people realize. Yes, you can follow traditional rituals that other people have already created and are in use. They have power, especially if the ritual was created with a good intention. And I'm going to come back to this every single time. Intention, belief, and connection. Okay, those are your three main ingredients for anything you want to do to help create your new reality. First, you must go into the creation with a specific intention. So here, as an example, when you go to get dressed in the morning, is your intention to dress for warmth? Is it to dress to feel beautiful? Is it to dress to maybe make other people smile? So you put on a costume that day because your goal that day is to make other people smile. What is the intention? Even if it's just basic, like I have to wear this because it's my job, right? You have a uniform, maybe that's your job. So my intention today is to wear this so I can do my job. And then the other thing is to believe that it's going to help you do your job better. It's going to make people smile. It's going to make you feel beautiful. Believe it, okay? And then the connection, that's the last thing. You have to connect it to an energy. So you're putting on the clothes. Think about what the fabric's made out of. This is why it's really important to not constantly wearing fake materials like plastics and things that don't necessarily, like a genetically modified food, for example, that your body can't digest. Same kind of concept. So if you can find more natural fabrics, you'll feel a greater connection. You'll have a better intention setting or ritual outcome, right? So you put on your clothes in the day, you set the intention for why you're wearing those clothes. You truly believe that it's helping you with your intention by doing that. And then you connect it to the energy behind it. So as an example, in Aboriginal cultures and other tribal cultures, they don't necessarily have all these man-made, process machine, fabricated crap. They have clothes that are hand-woven by women and men. And so when they put it on, they can honor those who worked hard to labor and create the fabric, those who harvested materials to make the fabric. And also, they can also thank Gaia, Mother Earth, for providing the materials to make the fabric. There's so much connection there. You can connect right back to Mother. You can connect to all the people who helped make the material. That's a huge connection. So it doesn't have to be a big thing, okay? You don't have to make a big ritual over it and like candles and all that. All you have to do is stop this chatter in your mind for a second, and as you're getting dressed, take 2 seconds, half a second out of your day and be like, I'm putting these clothes on today to go to work. I'm putting these clothes on today because I feel beautiful in them. And give thanks. And that's your connection, is the gratitude. That's the connection, okay? As an example, when I wash my face or have a shower, especially if I'm busy and I don't have time to put a big thought behind it, I'll just be like, thank you, Spirit Water, for helping me today. Thank you so much for washing away the tired, the old, the ick, and making me feel new. And that's it. It can be that simple. And that is actually a ritual, right? It's like, I never got this as a kid where they're always like, you need to have all of these things to make your life better, right? So colonial patriarchal societies take the rituals or take these living with intention moments, because that's what those are, living with intention and purpose. They took them and made them hollow by saying, you need to create a routine. You need to create consistency. But it took the power out of it. It took the soul out of it. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, you can do it with intention. And granted, you're not going to do everything with intention, right? Like, I don't walk to my fridge and open the door with intention. Well, actually, I do. I intend to eat. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you open the fridge and you're looking at the fridge and you're like, I'm actually not freaking hungry. So sometimes there's no intention. Sometimes you're just kind of going with the flow. But there's certain things we do every day, like eating, getting dressed, bathing. Those are things you do with intention. Odie is trying to wake up my pug. He's bored. He's like the biggest 11-month-old baby in the world. I love you, puppy. So yeah, I really, really want people to start practicing living with intention and purpose and giving thanks, because that's your connection. Gratitude is your connection, okay? Anytime you feel alone and you take a moment to be thankful for everything you have, you'll feel less alone. And it makes it easier to believe that the intention, the purpose you're setting for that activity or that moment, whatever it is you're doing, it'll make it easier to believe that it's going to be just as you intended, okay? Now, for some of you who are just on the beginning of your healing journey or spiritual journey, this might seem like, at first, like something you're doing just out of practice. You might feel like you're imitating, you're just mirroring, and you don't have the full grasp of the power or the deep feeling behind it. But I don't want you to feel like it's not working or not doing what you think. It's just, there's pathways, there's connections to your higher self, to parts of you that you just haven't made yet, and you'll get there. It's all part of the process. It doesn't mean you can't practice these things. It doesn't mean you can't still live with intention and purpose. It just means you might not have that same drive to do it as, say, somebody who's already been on their path or journey for many, many years. And I just really want to throw that in there too. Like, I can't express to you guys how long my journey has been. Basically, I would say my mindfulness journey started the moment I held my oldest in my arms for the first time in 2012. So that would definitely be, for me, the beginning of where I am now. And that's 12 years ago. So, yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, so I want everyone to start doing these little rituals or living with intention. And you'll find that your day becomes way more magical in the weirdest ways. Now, the other thing that's really on my heart this morning, again, Source has put me in a place where I can be a witness to things and some injustices and some heartbreaking situations. And I needed to see these because I need to call my women, my divine feminine, whether your meaty flesh sac represents a female concept or not, I don't care. Okay, I'm talking about what you feel on the inside. What is calling to you? Is the goddess calling to you? Is the divine feminine calling to you? Do you feel what it feels like to be mother? If that's what you feel, this is a message I have for you. In this patriarchal society where women have been separated from each other, it has become almost impossible for us to connect with each other. Which is really strange because even in evolutionary adaptations, if you want to go down a linear timeline that, 3D society really thinks to be a thing, apes and monkeys, they actually have developed systems that keep the females safe, right? Some groups of monkeys or apes will have where the female will bond with other groups of men that are just friend monkeys that will keep them safe, or they'll have more than one partner to keep them safe from being hurt by other male monkeys or abused. But in other groups of monkeys or apes, there's a huge connection where the women, the female, I'm going to call them women because they are technically a woman in a way. Think about it. Anyways, those female monkeys or apes, they connect with each other, and they do that so that they can keep each other's kids safe, and they can keep each other safe from, right? They'll rally around each other and chase off any predators or, males trying to abuse them. We don't even have that anymore in Western colonized society. Think about it. Here, I gotta save this for a second. Okay, So, women, we don't have these connections that even animals have. Have you ever seen what happens with cattle or buffalo when a storm or a predator is around, where all the injured or babies go in the middle and the women surround them, and then the males, women, the females surround them, and then the men surround them. Males. Just go with it. The things that come out of my mouth are out of my control. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's something that we've lost, okay? So whether you physically feel like on the outside you represent that feeling of a divine masculine or feminine, I don't want you to pay attention to the physical outward appearance of your body. I want you to feel the calling in your heart, okay? Because Mother Gaia has realized that she's had to use people that maybe didn't think they should be men as examples to us women who've lost our connection to Goddess. That even if somebody on the outward can connect to their Goddess energy and full embody that Goddess power, if they can do that even though their body doesn't correlate with it, there's no way we can't, okay? Just keep that in mind. But we need to rebuild those connections, okay? So if you've reached a part in your healing journey where you have the capacity, because trust me, there'll be times when you don't have the capacity, and that's okay too. But when you've reached a point where you feel like you have the capacity, I want women to start reaching out to other women and stop worrying about what society's going to think. Stop worrying if you're overstepping your boundaries, okay? Because as an example, how many women out there literally have been standing beside their man or their dad, and they look at another man and they make eye contact, and it's like, you can just see the connection there, like, dude, I feel you, bro. This shit sucks. Right? Or like, yeah, I know. And they don't even have to say words. It's like they just feel each other. They just understand. We as women, as a whole, in patriarchal societies, there's a very small minority of people who can do that on the divine feminine side. Because we are so worried about being judged, criticized, constantly comparing ourselves to them. This society has taught us how to compare, judge, criticize, blame, shame, condemn. There is no such thing as acceptance and building each other up. And this is where our hearts come in, okay? This is why you maybe have to wait till you're at a certain level of your healing journey or your spiritual journey before this is something you'll have the capacity to do. So if you don't have the capacity yet, that's okay, okay? That's not a problem. You're exactly where you need to be. So that's not something for you to worry about. But for those of us who have the capacity, if in your heart it aches when you see a woman sitting on the side of this is something I've honestly done since I was a little kid, okay? So I get that for some people this might seem like a foreign concept. It was something for me I couldn't ignore, I had to do. If I saw someone hurting or crying and they were alone and nobody else was willing to just say hi, I did it. Because I couldn't fathom the idea of walking away from them while they were suffering. That just seemed so cold, and it made me feel gross. I remember getting in trouble, quick story. I remember getting in trouble, this guy, I don't know what his problem was, but anyways, I went outside to have a puff. I'll be honest, I used to be a really big pothead, okay? Anyways, so I went outside to have a puff. And then this young girl, probably my age or maybe a couple years younger, was crying outside. And we were in Toronto and we were at this fancy hotel. It was some convention thing. Anyways, I ended up talking to her. And this is how bad patriarchal society has become, okay? Because I didn't run right back to the guy I had been dating and didn't run right back and like a good little obedient little girl and sit in the convention room and listen to some stupid people talk about stupid shit I didn't like. Because he felt like I should feel privileged. You know, he brought me to this fancy hotel and this fancy place, which I really could give two shits about. But anyways, yeah, I ended up spending time with her outside, and I just listened to her and let her share her story. And then I invited her to hang out with me because I could tell by her story, if she went back to the people she had been with, she was going to get abused or hurt that night. I don't think she even realized the situation she'd put herself into unknowingly, based on false promises and lies and shit some extremely older man had told her. But you know what happened to me that night? Buddy became insanely jealous. Like, I mean, insane. He accused me of dyking it out. I'm like, dude, if I was a lesbian or into chicks, I definitely would not have wanted to date you ever. By the way, this was like the last time I ever saw the guy, okay? Because after he showed his true colors, it was like, yeah. Long story short, he was so enraged by my irrational behavior, my desire to want to befriend this girl and bring her along so that she wasn't alone for the evening, that he literally had me against the wall, like this. And I just couldn't even. I just looked at him like, dude, first of all, I've been hit before. You would have done it by now if that's actually what you were going to do. Second of all, just do it already or leave me the fuck alone. Because I was just so over it. And it actually scared him because I totally just deadpanned. Like, my face just went totally stoic because, I mean, all the shit I've been through, it's just, he was a baby. He was a boy having a tantrum. Like, he was just trying to scare me. He was trying to bully me. So I just looked at him in the eyes, dead in the eyes. I was like, okay, man, either move this show along or leave me alone. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't fathom how I could be so calm. He thought I was crazy, which maybe I was. But you know what was even more disgusting? Was an older man poked his head out of the room we had been in. And he literally looked at me being pinned up against the wall, held up by my neck on my tippy toes with this guy 3 times my size with his fist cocked. Farmer, by the way, his hands were huge. And he just turned around and shut the door. And I heard a woman, is everything okay? Oh, yeah, it's fine. They're just on their way back to the room. What the fuck, man? I was a young little girl. Like, I was maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. I was probably 18, 19 at the time. Like, why? Why just walk away from that? That enraged me more than anything else in my life. That enraged me. Anyways, that is just an example of why women need to reach out to women. But I also wanted to tell you that story so you can understand. I get that it's not an easy thing to do in this society. I get it. Because there's a lot of people, especially men stuck in the system, who have been programmed and trained to fear us and not trust us, thinking that the only solution is to control us. Okay, I had to stop the video for a minute. Yeah, funny enough, this is coming to me to express to you guys because it was pressed upon my heart last night to help my friend and her mom, because I think, like I said, I get it. I get why it's scary for women to want to help other women and to feel like we're stepping over our boundaries because we're not doing it the way the system wants us to do it. But following that intuition in our hearts, and even if it's just like when you see a woman having a bad day in the store, like her kids are going bananas and people are staring at her funny, and you can just see her face that she just wants to sit down and cry somewhere, but she can't. Even just doing that guy thing, where you look at them and give her a kind smile, like, I feel you, I got you, like, I know where you're coming from. That simple connection could change everything for her that day, make her feel a little less alone, right? And it can be hard, especially in the beginning of my healing journey. I can tell you, making eye contact with another person would have been impossible. If you had seen me back in June, I literally used to walk around like this, okay, all the time. Like, fuck it, don't see me, don't look at me. I just want to hide. Like, don't touch me. Don't even acknowledge I exist. And now I strut my stuff down the street. It's again, though, I started mindfulness stuff in 2012, and the journey for self-love and healing, it was not a short one, okay? It was definitely not. But you might find that as you connect with other women, as you show them support, it's not that you're fixing their problems, because we can't do that for each other. It's just showing support, kindness, love, understanding, compassion. The more you practice that, the more you'll find it easier to do it for yourself. And you'll start to have more faith because you'll see small changes. You'll see small ripples. There's a wonderful song I keep listening to. I'm going to have to look up the band. But she sings, you can't receive love if you don't give love. And it's so true. Energy is reciprocal, right? You can't create energy from nothing. You can transmute it. You can change it. And sometimes as women, we forget how much power we have to transmute energy. Because we really do. Okay, guys? Like, we can really literally change an entire room's energy just by being a woman. No joke. Whether it's to cause chaos and anger and spite and jealousy, because some do, or whether it's to brighten someone's day or share love and compassion and kindness. It's a choice. So, I think it's really important that we start doing that for us, for each other, because as an example, my son is only 10, but I can tell from the men in his life, it is really, really hard for him to trust me, even as his own mother. He has been taught not to trust women, that we can't be trusted. He's been taught to fear us, our unpredictable nature, our emotional reactions. Even he shames and blames and guilts me for my behavior as a woman sometimes, not even realizing that's something he learned is a mirroring from the other men that have been in his life. And those types of behaviors aren't going to change unless mothers do. So, yeah, speaking of my son, I think I need to go do something with him. But anyways, that was something I wanted to really share with everyone this morning. Live with intention and purpose. The power of putting an intention and focusing on it, knowing what your intention is in an activity, any activity that you do on a regular basis, not so much the spontaneous ones, but the, eating, washing, drinking. Put intention and purpose behind it, and then believe that your intentions are going to happen because of what you're doing or what you're seeing or feeling or experiencing. And then also make the connection to the energy, to the source behind what it is you're doing. And believe, right? Connection, belief, intention. The power can, those three powers can create almost anything. That's how you create your new realities. Live with compassion, live with love, not just for yourself, but with others. And as women, we really need to start shifting this entire society's view of what is okay and not okay for us to do. And that needs to start with us loving each other. True story. We need to stop encouraging our girls to compare ourselves to other girls. We need to stop encouraging us to be like, oh, she's after your man. Oh, do you see the way she looked at you? Oh, she's on. Stop that shit. Stop giving power to that stuff. You don't have to do that, okay? So what if she's trying to get your man? If your man goes with her, he wasn't your man in the first place, right? Fuck that shit. Nobody needs that kind of crap in their life. So make sure that you live with intention and purpose. Make sure that we start showing compassion and love. And if it scares you to do it, if it feels kind of scary, but in your heart, you really, really want to show that woman, the other woman suffering, even just a smile, or be like, hey, can I get you a coffee today? There's a coffee shop down the road. Maybe you guys sit in silence for a bit. Maybe it feels weird and awkward. Who cares? Maybe you start telling her about something crazy that happened. A lot of the times, that's how my interactions start. Like, I'll see somebody, and they'll be like, oh my God, I love your shoes. And it'll jog something in my mind. I'll be like, I remember when, and I'll tell some stupid crazy story, and all of a sudden, they start sharing stuff with me. And it's just letting them know they're not alone. It can make a world of difference, right? So, please, some of you step out of your comfort zone and join me in this, because together we're going to change the world, even if it's just one woman at a time. Because until us women reclaim our power, our sons are still going to suffer with too much male toxic views from a patriarchal society. And it hurts them. It hurts them to live like that as little boys. It hurts them not to be able to trust their mothers. It hurts them not to know if their mother is a safe place. It has to change. okay? We can do it. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I love you. Bye.